Camera. Message.
Okay.
iMessage. Text field.
Now I'm gonna
Quick
text Hannah.
Message. Text
Okay.
field. Is editing. iMessage. Character mode. Insertion point at start.
I'm gonna say hi.
H.
Hey, Hannah.
A. H. E. A. Hannah, comma.
This
T. A. S. This.
is
I. S. Is. B. But. E.
Bethany.
T. H. A. N. Y. Annie.
Oh,
Space.
Did you goof?
Space. Bethany.
I was just trying to make sure that I spelled my name right. Okay.
Spell your own name right? That's a good one. David, can you please explain to everyone exactly what Braille is?
Okay, so Braille is a system of raised dots that blind and visually impaired people use to basically read. Now, there are some misconceptions that Braille is a language. It is not a language, it is a code that is used in many different languages. And the basic way that what Braille looks like is a full Braille cell has 6 dots, 2 columns with 3 rows, and so that makes 64 different ways you can form the cell, and that allows you to basically be able to represent letters, numbers, and different kinds of notation. So there are 2 systems used in Braille. When you're learning Braille for like as a child or as an adult coming into learning Braille, you have a system called uncontracted Braille, which is where every letter is written out, and so that there are no what we call contractions. Now, contractions are different in Braille, are in some ways different in Braille than, for example, a print contraction. In Braille, you could also think of contractions as abbreviations. So, for example, instead of spelling out the word above, like ABOVE, you would instead just write ABV in Braille, and this reduces the volume space in Braille since there's you're basically poking dots into the paper, and that causes a lot of space.
Now, Abigail, you have an interesting device in front of you.
Okay.
This is called a Perkins Brailler.
Okay.
Would you like to take the cover off of your Brailler and show us how to load that up with paper?
Yes.
Great.
Please.
Hannah, can you give Abby a piece of Braille paper?
Okay.
10-4.
All right. And just put that on the floor, Abby. Just put your cover on the floor, honey.
Oh. And
Okay.
Now, Abby is loading up the paper. Hannah, can you explain what Abby's doing while she does it?
Yes.
so, as we're going along, Abby is loading up the paper, inserting the paper, I should say, in through where the Braille margins are, and what she does is the holes have to be on the left side, next to where the left margin.
She might need some help there, Hannah. Maybe you can help her out.
Okay.
Help.
You want to let's let Hannah load it up
wait.
for you,
Okay.
Abby. Abby does know how to do
So
it.
this is right. It's the latches facing is up towards me. Handle needs to be down first. What I'm doing here, whoops, that's wrong. I'm turning this around because it was on the right side, but
You can bring it over in front of you, honey, if it's easier. There you go.
thanks. And then we slide this carriage to make sure it's correctly positioned. Move this back, close the latch away from me, and then I grab these 2 roller knobs, roll it with both hands. Whoops, except it got caught here, so I'm just gonna lift this up just a teeny tiny bit, feeling with my fingers, put that down, whoops, and then if it reaches here, that means it's all the way in. press this line change key one time, or maybe even roll this up another time. And if it's not spinning anymore, that means it's locked in.
All right, Abby, would you like to show us what a full cell is on the Braille Writer?
Oh, yeah.
Hands.
Go ahead.
Oh, full self.
Yes, do a full cell for us. And that's all 6 dots, right, Abby?
6 dot.
Yeah. Now, would you like to write your name for us?
Yes.
Okay, please do that.
Press the space bar, press the space bar.
Okay.
Can she do the full cell again?
Okay, Abby, go ahead and do the full cell again.
Okay.
Just
Huh.
Abby, do the full cell.
Okay.
Excellent.
So,
All right, now can you go ahead and do the space bar and then write your name out for us?
Yeah. A. Okay.
oops, capital first, capital. Remember dot 6?
Dot 6. Wait. Capital. Wait.
Yep,
That's
capital.
what the dot 6 is.
Okay. Okay.
Hands, Abby. And
Okay.
go ahead and write your name.
A.
Both hands.
Okay.
She needs to do the dot 1 with the A.
Dot 1. Okay.
That was just an A. Do you want to finish writing your name for us?
Yeah.
Okay, do that.
Oh.
Or would you rather have Hannah do this part?
You can do this.
All right, Hannah, would you like to show us how to write your name on the Braille Writer?
Abby kind of made a little accident here,
Whoops.
but that's fine. We line change, actually, that's good right here. Bring the carriage back. And then to write my name, I do dot 6. And then,
Here, let me get over there and see those keys better, Hannah.
so that's a dot 6, and then H is dots 1, 2, 5. A is dots, actually dot 1. And then N, 1, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 4, 5 again. A, dot 1. And then H, dots 1, 2, 5. I space over 3 times, or maybe even one more time, so that this is what it looks like when my name is all written out.
All right, can you roll that up so that I could see and we could
So
see what it
just-
looks like?
Line change 2, 1, 2. Move this carriage back until it stops, which is here.
All right, and then can you feel it?
So that is my name up here. It's a palindrome. It's spelled both forwards and
All right,
back.
do that again. Show it.
It's okay.
Okay,
So
read it letter by letter.
H. Okay, frontwards it's H, A, N, N, A, H, and it's spelled again backwards. Starting from the right, except there's no capital there, but it's backwards from the right. H, A, N, N, A, and then H, but except there's a capital right there on the left.
All right, so let me look in there. All right, that says Hannah. And there's the full cell
Yep,
that Abby did.
Yeah.
Does anyone use the Perkinsr Braille Writer?
Not in our family because it's kind of antiquated and it's very you waste a lot of time going back and checking things and making sure you didn't make mistakes, and if you do, you have to go back and either scratch it out or create a full cell and then do it again. So
Is there any time when you still do use the Perkinsr Braille Writer?
the only time I might consider it is if I'm doing math, because sometimes, in math, it's, especially if you're dealing with equations that are multi-lined, it might be easier to see that on a Brailler.
Interesting. So what do you use in place of the Perkins Brailler?
So thanks to technology, we have what are called Braille Displays and Braille Note Takers, which basically uses mechanical pins and crystals underneath them to basically push them up and push them down, and those form the Braille cells.
Can you show us what you have there?
So I have in front of me, I have a Braille Display and I have a Braille Note. So this is the Braille Note.
Okay. Do you want to demonstrate the Braille Note for a minute?
So yeah, see the Braille dots are just changing every time I hit buttons, and I can see what's, like, for example, right now I know that I'm on the calculator application. And then now here, there's my file manager. So the note taker itself acts as like a computer almost, except that you can imagine that the screen is replaced with a Braille display.
Okay. What were you doing on your Braille Raider before we started filming? You were reading something.
I was reading a book.
Can you demonstrate reading that book?
It's kind of boring, but
Well,
I could.
just show us how fast your fingers move when you're reading a book,
Okay. Let's take this book.
because that's pretty interesting, I think.
Yep. It's about accounting, funny enough.
Oh, that's boring.
Yeah,
but,
no kidding.
but
So
the Braille is very interesting to people, even though the accounting is boring.
yeah, so let me just show you. So like,
Okay.
double entry bookkeeping is a centuries-old, very clever method of keeping the accounting equation in balance. There you go. That's a full sentence, and that's how fast I usually read. And then this is my Braille display.
Okay.
So this connects to my computer, which I have over here.
All right.
So basically, I can. Let me see if I. Let me actually turn it off so you can see the screen. All right, so you can see the screen, and I can see it over on my Braille display as well. So sometimes. Let me bring up my.
Can you tip the screen back just a bit toward
Oh, yeah.
Bethany,
Oh,
the other
like
way?
This way?
Yes, there you
Good?
go.
Okay. So let me bring up a program that I can show you. Alright, so here's a blank file. So I can, go type on the computer, hello, this is a test, for example. But then I can also do it on the Braille display. Oh, and I made a mistake, but I can go back
Okay.
and erase it like that. I forgot test. So there you go.
Can you write something else out?
Like what?
I don't know, think of something.
Double entry accounting is very exciting.
Not.
Oops. There you go.
I'm surprised it's not laughing back at us.
Oops, and I totally butchered accounting. There you go.
So
So
you
you went
did
back-
that.
You went back and edited?
Yep,
So you went back and edited the word accounting because you'd spelled it wrong.
yep. And I keep spelling it wrong.
And you keep spelling it wrong.
So is accounting exciting or boring?
Somewhat exciting if you like math.
Or if you're David.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I can't spell. I think it might be a... Okay, did I spell it right? Yeah, I spelled it right. It is. There you go. Go back.
Okay.
It's very exciting.
Now, Hannah, if you move the Braille Writer over in front of Abby
Oh.
for a moment,
Okay.
you have in front of you a cute little children's book.
Of course.
And this is what we call a twin vision book, meaning that it has print on one page and Braille. Can you lift up the Braille page so that we can see it?
So it's
See, it's like a laminated piece of plastic that shows the Braille, and it lays over top of the printed page so that a sighted parent can read a book to their blind child. We've given most of our twin vision books away to a friend of ours whose dad is blind, and he wanted to read children's books to his little boy. And so they inherited most of our children's books. But Hannah, would you like to read a page? that page
Sure.
and explain what you're doing there?
Okay, so my hands are right next to each other. They kind of follow each other like how a train follows a car. One car on a train follows another car.
Okay.
So I read it like this. Groundhog curled up in his warm, cozy bed. Then I go back with my left, and then my right hand follows, and then both my hands go down. That means next line. Then I go, he closed his eyes, he tossed and turned, but he couldn't get to sleep. He poked his nose on outside his burrow. The leaves were red and yellow. So there you have it. Sorry folks, I'm a slow reader.
That's okay. Now, can you show me what you showed me before? What does it say in the description, and what's that all about?
So after you get all this, there's uncontracted Braille at the top, and then it ends at this separation line. That's to separate the contracted and uncontracted Braille. And there's contracted Braille all down the bottom here until this page ends.
And is that the description?
Oh, that's
Just the contracted Braille?
yeah, this is contracted Braille.
So on the descriptions that are in the middle of the contracted and uncontracted Braille, what does the description talk about?
It talks about, like, there are pictures.
Okay, that's
On
what I was
there?
looking for, yeah.
There are pictures so that sighted people can see and describe to their to one of their blind children if they're learning for the first time.
So if somebody's reading the book and they're blind, the description explains what the picture looks like.
And what's happening in the story, actually.
Great. Perfect.
Thank you.
Now, Bethany, what do you have there?
So, folks, in front of me, I have, to my left is my Orbit reader. It is a Braille display.
Okay.
And then what I'm touching with my right hand is my phone. It is an iPhone.
Bethany, do you know what one of the biggest questions that people ever ask us is?
How blind people, how I use an iPhone.
They can't figure out how you text your friends. It's called technology, right?
Right.
So you could use your iPhone by itself,
Yes.
right?
Right. Sometimes I do that.
Or
You can have a Braille display connect to your iPhone.
do you want to show us how that works?
Sure. Okay, so first I have my Orbit reader turned on.
How does that connect to the phone?
It connects to Bluetooth.
Ah.
Yes. And then I'm gonna turn on voiceover. Oh, alright, let me turn it up. Okay.
Row 1, column 1, page 3 of 3. Speech off. Speech on. Screen curtain off.
Oh, okay.
Podcasts. Find my friend. Find my tips. Double tap to open.
So I'm gonna,
Calendar. Photos.
in order to go
Camera.
to
Maps.
connect
Double tap.
your
Clock. 3:34 p.m.
Orbit reader
Double tap to open.
to your iPhone, I have to go to settings.
Weather. Notes. Reminders. News. Stocks. iTunes Store. App Store. Books. Health. Home. Wallet. Settings. One new item. Settings. Heading. Finish setting up your iPhone. Button. Airplane mode. Off. Wi-Fi. Shark Tank. Bluetooth. On. Button. Cellular. Button. Personal hotspot. Off. Button. Notifications. Button. Sounds. Button. Do not disturb. Button. Screen time. General. Button.
I have to go to
Selected.
general
Back button.
Okay.
General. Heading. About. Button. Software update. AirDrop. Button.
and
Handoff. Button. CarPlay.
car
Button. Accessibility.
accessibility.
Button. Selected. General. Back button. Accessibility. Head. Vision. Heading. Voiceover.
Voiceover.
On. Accessibility. Back button.
So I have to
Voiceover.
keep
Heading.
swiping
Voiceover.
right until I hear
Voiceover speaks items on the
Braille.
screen. Tap once to select an item. Double tap to activate the selected item. Swipe 3 fingers to voiceover practice. Speaking rate. Heading. Speaking rate. Speech. Button. Verbosity. Braille. Button. Selected.
Braille.
Voiceover. Back button. Braille.
Okay, I
Heading.
keep swiping
Output.
right.
Contract. Input. Contracted. Braille screen input. Status cells. Equations use Nemeth code. Show on screen key. Turn pages when penning. On. Word wrap. On. Braille code. English. Alert display duration. Choose a Braille display. In progress. Orbit reader. 2 0.
So-
Orbit reader. 2 0 1 2 1 8.
Now
Pairing.
it's. I'm waiting for it to pair. Oh.
Selected. Orbit reader. 2 0 1 2 1 8. Connected. Button.
Okay.
Setting.
Okay.
Why don't you text Hannah?
All right.
Page 2 of 3. Dot. Safari. Messages. Double tap to open. Messages. Edit.
So-
Edit. Button. Messages. Compose. Search. Search field.
I'm gonna.
Double tap to edit.
So I can search when I'm texting who I'm gonna text.
Quick nav off. Search field.
What?
Is editing. Search. H. A. N. N.
Typing
A.
in Hannah.
H.
See.
Hannah.
And then
Hannah.
I'm
My message. Tuesday 4th. Your iMessage. Hi Hannah, this is Bethany. I'm texting you using my Orbit reader. This is Hannah Storm texting you on my iPhone. It is excellent. And speaking of storms. Oh, my storms. My message. Tuesday 4th. iMessage. Hannah. Back button.
Okay.
Hannah. iMessage. Tuesday. Hannah. Camera. Message. Message.
Okay.
iMessage. Text field.
Now I'm gonna
Quick nav
text
off.
Hannah.
Message. Text
Okay.
field. Is editing.
Okay.
iMessage. Character mode. Insertion point at start. A. I.
I'm gonna say hi.
H. A.
Hey, Hannah.
N. A. H. E. A. Hannah, comma.
This
T. A. I. S. This.
is
I. S. Is. P. But. E.
Bethany.
T. H. A. N. Y. Penny.
oh.
Space.
Did you goof?
Space. Bethany.
I was just trying to make sure that I spelled my name right. Okay.
Spell your own name right? That's a good one.
Bethany.
Space. Period. Period. Dot. Cap. N. I apostrophe N.
Text.
T. A. E. E. A. E. X. T. I. N. G. Texting. Y. O. U. U. U.
Using
S. I. N. G. Using. N. Y. Y. O. R.
orbit
B. I. T. Orbit. R.
reader.
E. A. D. E. R. Period. Send. Button. Quick nav on.
It's sent.
Send. Photos.
Are you using contracted Braille?
3:38 p.m.
Um.
One notification.
So when I'm typing, when I'm spelling things out, I just spell it out, but then when I'm reading, it comes up as contracted.
Oh, okay.
Did you get a notification there, Hannah?
Yes, I did. So I'm gonna ask Siri to check my messages by holding down the home button.
Okay.
3:39.
Siri, check messages.
You have a new message from Bethany. Hi Hannah, this is Bethany. I'm texting you using my Orbit reader. Want to reply?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Hi Bethany, comma. It is I, Hannah Storm, period.
Your reply to Bethany says, Hi Bethany, it is I, Hannah Storm. Ready
Oops.
to send it?
Change it.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi Bethany, comma. It is I, Hannah Storm, period.
Now it says, Hi Bethany, it is my Hannah Storm. Ready to send it?
Yes.
Done.
Siri's not so bright all the time, is he?
Okay.
Well, probably not, but
Did you just get a text, Bethany?
Back button.
Okay. It says.
Hannah. Button. Hi Bethany. It is my Hannah Storm. 3:40 p.m.
Okay. It says.
Can you turn it down slower?
Like slow the speech?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Well, you don't have to do that, but you can do it
Well-
if you want to.
So the way to do it, I have to use two of my fingers
Uh-huh.
and pretend like I'm unlocking the door.
Containers.
There's
And
also a Braille display way to do it. If you do 5, 6, or 2, 3 space.
5, 6, or okay.
It does the same thing as the finger thing. Then I call it
Like
the door.
5, 6 with the space.
Yep.
Okay.
Headings. Actions. Headings. Containers. Zones. Speaking rate.
And then
And then you would do dot 6 space or dot 3 space.
60%.
See, that's tech support right there. Right, David?
15%.
Yep.
okay,
Call tech support.
it says
Camera. Button. Your iMessage.
So now
Hi,
it's
Hannah.
slower.
This is Bethany. I'm texting you using my Orbit Reader.
okay, now it's
Delivered. Hannah. Hi,
Hi.
Bethany. It is my Hannah store.
Bethany. It is
3:40
my
p.m.
Hannah Storm. I think you meant to say, "Hi, Bethany. It is me, Hannah Storm."
See, this is why when our vision impaired friends send us comments on YouTube, and they come out a little bit funny, but this is why we say we speak Siri fluently, because we always have to figure out what the heck Siri's talking about, don't we, Hannah?
Yeah. You bet your storms it is.
Yeah, and there's a mode on the phone called Braille Screen Input also, which I've demonstrated before, but is useful so that you don't have to use Siri. But then if you don't have a Braille display handy, you can still use Braille.
David, there's a book here. You ever hear of a book, an actual book,
Oh, book. What is that?
not technology? Would you like to read to us from the Hardy Boys book?
Sure. This one is called the Tower Treasure, and I haven't read a good old paper book in a long time. So here's page 1. Now, see, this is I'm pretty sure the children's book is probably double spaced. This is single spaced, so all the lines of Braille are closer together. All right. So it says, Chapter 1, The Speed Demon. Frank and Joe Hardy clutched the grips of their motorcycles and stared in horror at the oncoming car. It was careening from side to side on the narrow road. "He'll hit us! We'd better climb this hillside and fast," Frank exclaimed as the boys brought their motorcycles to a screeching halt and leapt off. "On the double!" Joe cried out as they stared up at the steep embankment. To their amazement, the reckless driver suddenly pulled his car hard to the right and turned into a side road on 2 wheels. The boys expected the car to turn over, but it held the dusty ground and sped off out of sight.
Do you want to explain, David, how you move your fingers, and all that?
Okay, so I'm not going to read this page out loud, but
Okay.
I will kind of...
Just explain to us how this works.
So basically, when you start reading a line of Braille, you use 2 fingers on both hands, and you kind of use your right hand as like a trailer, and your left hand's going to be the one that's going to be kind of your guide. So you start by like moving both fingers along the page, but then when you start to feel that you're getting toward the end of the page, you move your hand a line down and just have it stay there until your right hand kind of gets to the end of it. And at first, this is very hard to conceptualize why it would be helpful to do that. But then as you start naturally reading, it just comes naturally, and then it actually makes you a faster reader. Yeah. I mean, I can read like a sighted person. You saw how fast I was reading, so I can keep up with my sighted peers if they're like reading in class or something.
Braille is outstanding, even though I don't use it at my workplace.
Well, you do though, Hannah. You've had all of your recipes have been transcribed into Braille.
Yeah, we have this thing called app class after lunch on Thursday and Friday. And I read that pardon me. I read that in Braille.
And someone, the Department for the Blind has transcribed all of your recipes into Braille and laminated it, and you can actually read those through your food preparation gloves, can't you?
Yeah, I can.
And now you're in the process of just memorizing the recipes.
Yeah,
so
like
you don't have to bother with the big Braille book.
Yeah, like simple recipes, like for instance, buffalo chicken salad.
Sounds pretty good right about now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abby, do you have anything else to say about Braille and your wonderful teacher of the visually impaired?
Yes.
Your TVI
Yes.
extraordinaire who teaches you how to read?
Yeah.
Good. How about you, Bethany?
I'm really thankful to have my Braille technology, like my phone and my Orbit reader and the Braille note.
I just want to say I think every blind person should at least be exposed to Braille. It doesn't necessarily mean they have to, use it in their daily lives, but I think it'd be a wonderful.
Jesse and Obed have been exposed to it, even though they're not Braille readers, right?
Yep, I think it's important that you have that, because as a sighted person you can read print, so as a blind person you should also have the right to read Braille.
Great. Thanks, guys. That was an awesome demonstration. We really appreciate the time that you took to show everyone all about Braille.